Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Tuesday, September 23rd, Audra and Sally scheme, Holden's intriguing invitation, Victoria's unwanted advice. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Fans can expect Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, to debate their next move. Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Meanwhile, Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, gets an intriguing invitation from Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. Also, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, gives some advice to Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Sally Spectra's bombshell. Let's start off with Sally, who will meet up with Audra after the failed launch party for Abbott Communications. With tears in her eyes, the redhead tells her friend that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, blew up the company before it even had a chance to get off the ground. Sally already told Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, about Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn, plans for Billy. So, she will likely tell Audra next. Sally Spectra's bombshell. In Genoa City, secrets never stay hidden for long, and drama has a way of finding its way to the surface at the most inopportune times. But when it comes to Sally Spectra, fans know to expect the unexpected. The fiery redhead has built a reputation for being bold, unapologetically ambitious, and unafraid of stirring the pot to get what she wants. Now, with whispers of her latest bombshell shaking up the Young and the Restless, everyone is wondering what kind of chaos Sally is about to unleash and who will be left standing in the aftermath. Sally has always been a woman with big dreams and even bigger risks. From her fashion empire days in Los Angeles to her turbulent romantic entanglements in Genoa City, she has never backed down from a challenge. But every bold step has also come with devastating consequences. Her ambition has cost her friendships, alliances, and even trust in her relationships. Yet Sally refuses to fade into the background, and this new twist promises to catapult her right back into the spotlight. So, what exactly is this bombshell? And why is Genoa City buzzing with speculation? Some say Sally has been hiding a secret that could destroy more than one relationship, while others believe she's about to make a career move that will shock her rivals. Given Sally's track record, both possibilities are equally believable. If there's one thing she thrives on, it's keeping people guessing. At the heart of the drama is her complicated love life. Sally has already weathered intense heartbreak with Adam Newman, endured crushing grief after losing her baby, and tried to find stability with Nick Newman. But her relationships have always been tangled in rivalries, betrayals, and emotional landmines. Could her bombshell involve rekindling an old romance or admitting a hidden truth that changes everything? Imagine the fallout if Sally revealed lingering feelings for Adam while still involved with Nick. The Newman family dynamic would explode, leaving Nick torn between love and loyalty and Adam emboldened to reclaim what he lost. Sally has a way of pulling men into her orbit, and whether she intends it or not, sparks of passion often ignite flames of chaos. Beyond romance, Sally's career is another battlefield. She has faced countless setbacks, from losing business opportunities to being undermined by rivals like Chelsea Lawson and Phyllis Summers. Still, Sally always finds a way to bounce back. Perhaps her bombshell involves launching a new business venture, one that pits her against the biggest power players in Genoa City. If she's holding a card that could upend Newman Media, Chancellor Winters, or even Marchetti, the ripple effects could be massive. The idea of Sally becoming a true corporate disruptor is tantalizing, especially if she has secret allies waiting to strike alongside her. The thought of Sally reclaiming her independence and proving her worth once again has fans on the edge of their seats. But what makes this storyline even more explosive is the emotional weight Sally carries. She has been portrayed not just as a schemer but as a woman who has endured loss, disappointment, and the desperate struggle to belong. Her baby tragedy humanized her in ways that resonated deeply with viewers. That's why her next move isn't just about drama, it's about survival. Sally's bombshell could be born from her pain, a desperate attempt to regain control of a life that always seems just out of reach. Another layer to the speculation is her tangled rivalry with Chelsea. Both women share a romantic history with Adam, both have struggled to rebuild their reputations, and both are fiercely protective of their futures. If Sally's bombshell threatens Chelsea's standing, viewers can expect an all-out war. Chelsea is not one to sit quietly when her world is threatened, and Sally's boldness could reignite one of the most volatile rivalries in Genoa City. Their clashes aren't just about men or business, they're about power, identity, and the refusal to be overshadowed. The fallout of Sally's bombshell could touch nearly every corner of the canvas. If it's romantic, the Newmans will be at each other's throats. If it's business, the powerful Abbott and Chancellor families could be pulled into the fray. If it's deeply personal, like a secret pregnancy or shocking revelation about her past, the shockwaves could redefine Sally's place in Genoa City permanently. Fans are already dissecting every scene for clues, wondering if Sally's cryptic looks and lingering hesitation point to something bigger beneath the surface. One thing is certain, when Sally Spectra drops a bombshell, it's never small, and it always leaves devastation in its wake. Sally's unpredictability is what makes her such a compelling character. She is both a survivor and a risk-taker, someone who refuses to let her past mistakes define her. Her bombshell might be reckless, it might be brilliant, but it will undoubtedly remind everyone in Genoa City that underestimating Sally is a grave mistake. Whether she's stirring up heartbreak, challenging corporate titans, or exposing secrets no one saw coming, Sally always knows how to keep herself relevant. And in a town where power is everything, relevance is survival. The big question is not whether Sally's bombshell will shake up lives, it's whose lives will never be the same after she detonates it. Fans are bracing themselves, knowing that in true soap fashion, the fallout will be explosive, messy, and unforgettable. And if history has taught us anything, Sally Spectra's biggest moves are always the ones no one anticipates until it's too late. Audra Charles schemes. Audra has no company of her own to run and has a pity job from Sally. So, now they will both be out of work. While Sally usually just starts over with something new, Audra tends to go after things until she gets them. So, I wonder if Audra will come up with a plan for them both to have their own company to run. Audra Charles schemes. Audra Charles has always been one of those characters who walks into a room and instantly commands attention, but it's never just about her charm or her polished appearance. Beneath the confident smile and perfectly crafted words lies a woman who thrives on ambition, manipulation, and the thrill of getting exactly what she wants, no matter who she has to step over in the process. Genoa City has seen its fair share of schemers over the years, but Audra has quickly carved out her own space as someone to never underestimate. Her schemes are often laced with finesse, precision, and just enough vulnerability to keep people guessing about her true motives. Now, with whispers swirling of Audra's next big move, fans are bracing themselves for a storm of drama that could leave relationships shattered, careers on the line, and long-standing alliances forever broken. The beauty of Audra as a character is how she masks her ruthless ambition behind a facade of professionalism. She's not the type to storm into situations guns blazing, at least, not at first. Instead, she studies her targets, learns their weaknesses, and strikes when they least expect it. Whether she's maneuvering her way into a corporate boardroom or planting seeds of doubt in someone's personal life, Audra knows how to bend circumstances to her advantage. The question on everyone's mind is simple: what is she plotting now, and who is about to find themselves in her crosshairs? Audra's history in Genoa City has already proven that she is not above using romance as a weapon in her arsenal. Her entanglements with powerful men have often been just as strategic as they are passionate. But those who underestimate her by labeling her as nothing more than a seductress make a grave mistake. Audra understands the delicate dance between love and power, and she knows how to exploit it. If her current schemes involve mixing business with pleasure, then it's almost guaranteed that sparks will fly, and not just the romantic kind. Tension, jealousy, and betrayal follow her footsteps like shadows, and this time, the stakes may be higher than ever. One theory gaining traction is that Audra may be targeting Newman Media once again. With the Newman family always at odds and their business empire constantly under siege from rivals, Audra could see an opening to make her mark. Perhaps she's working behind the scenes to sabotage deals, expose secrets, or manipulate board members into questioning each other's loyalty. If so, she could spark a civil war within the Newman ranks, leaving Nick, Victoria, and Adam scrambling to protect their own interests. Another possibility is that Audra is positioning herself against Chancellor Winters. The company is already fraught with tension between the Winters and Abbott families, and the struggle for control has left it vulnerable to outside attacks. Audra knows the cracks in the foundation, and she could be plotting to wedge herself right in the middle, creating chaos while securing power for herself. Imagine her aligning with one half of the family while secretly working to undermine them from within. The resulting fallout could tear apart not just the company but the families who have built it. On the personal side, Audra's schemes could just as easily play out in matters of the heart. Her name has been linked with several of Genoa City's most eligible bachelors, and if she chooses to weave romance into her strategy again, it could destabilize even the strongest relationships. What if she reignites sparks with Nate Hastings, whose career ambitions often make him susceptible to manipulation? Or perhaps she turns her attention towards someone unexpected, luring them into her web of deceit with promises of passion and partnership. Romantic manipulation has always been a tool of the great soap opera schemers, and Audra could be following in the footsteps of legends like Phyllis Summers, Diane Jenkins, or even Jill Abbott. What makes Audra's schemes particularly dangerous is that she isn't afraid to play the long game. She'll let people believe they have the upper hand, only to pull the rug out from under them when they least expect it. This patience and calculation make her one of the most formidable players in Genoa City. If her latest plan is as elaborate as fans suspect, then it could take weeks, if not months, to unravel. And by the time the truth comes to light, it may be too late for her targets to undo the damage. Fans have already begun speculating on the possible ripple effects. If Audra destabilizes Newman Media, then Adam may be forced to make desperate choices to protect his place in the family. If Chancellor Winters is her target, Devon Hamilton and Lily Winters could find themselves at each other's throats, with Jill Abbott caught in the middle. If romance is at the core, relationships like Nick and Sally's or even Kyle Abbott's fragile emotional state could be thrown into chaos. Audra has the ability to touch every storyline, weaving herself into multiple plots until she becomes the center of gravity that everything else revolves around. The other layer of her schemes is the element of secrecy. Audra knows how to keep people guessing, feeding them just enough truth to make her lies believable. She knows the value of timing and the power of information, and she never plays all her cards at once. In a world where everyone is guarding their own secrets, Audra's ability to unearth hidden truths and weaponize them is perhaps her most dangerous skill of all. Her schemes don't just create drama, they unravel lives. What's most fascinating about Audra Charles is that, despite her scheming, she's not one-dimensional. She's not simply a villain twirling her metaphorical mustache. She has layers, motivations, and moments of vulnerability that make viewers empathize with her even as they condemn her actions. She's ambitious because she's been underestimated. She schemes because she's been shut out of opportunities. She manipulates because the world she inhabits is ruthless, and she refuses to be swallowed by it. That complexity ensures that her schemes never feel random, they feel personal, purposeful, and thrillingly unpredictable. As this new chapter unfolds, the only certainty is that Audra's schemes will leave their mark on Genoa City. Whether she topples an empire, destroys a romance, or redefines alliances, she will remind everyone why she is a force to be reckoned with. In the grand tradition of soap opera intrigue, her machinations will likely backfire at some point, but by then the damage will already be done, and the shockwaves will continue long after her plan is exposed. Fans should prepare themselves for high-stakes drama, fiery confrontations, and the kind of jaw-dropping revelations that only a character like Audra Charles can deliver. Her schemes are not just plot devices, they're catalysts for chaos, heartbreak, and reinvention. And in Genoa City, chaos is the currency that keeps everyone talking. The beauty of The Young and the Restless is that it thrives on these unpredictable twists, and Audra is the perfect character to deliver them. Her schemes promise to ignite rivalries, test loyalties, Holden Novak's intriguing information. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, September 23rd reveal that Holden and Claire will chat once again. The blonde complains about needing some distance from Kyle. That is when Holden mentions he's going on a trip to Los Angeles. The young man invites Claire to tag along with him. However, Kyle's head will likely explode when he finds out Holden Novak's intriguing information. Genoa City is never short on secrets, but when a mysterious newcomer like Holden Novak starts whispering about intriguing information that could shake the foundation of several families, you know the drama is about to reach a fever pitch. Holden may not have the deep-rooted legacy of the Newmans, the Abbotts, or the Chancellors, but what he lacks in history, he makes up for in mystery. From the moment he appeared on the canvas, fans have been asking, who exactly is Holden Novak, what does he want in Genoa City, and why is he so guarded about his past? Now, with hints that Holden possesses information that could blow the lid off long-buried secrets, the speculation is at an all-time high. Holden carries himself with a quiet intensity, the kind of energy that makes viewers instantly suspect that he knows more than he lets on. He slips into conversations with ease, gains trust quickly, but always keeps a part of himself hidden, as though he's waiting for the perfect moment to reveal his hand. His enigmatic aura is precisely why his presence is causing ripples across town. Everyone wants to know what Holden is hiding, and why he chose Genoa City as the place to drop his intriguing information. Soap fans know that a character like Holden doesn't appear without purpose. His secrets are designed to intersect with the town's most powerful players, and when those connections are revealed, fireworks are guaranteed. One theory already sparking fan debate is that Holden has ties to the Newman family. Could he be holding a document, a secret, or a confession that threatens Victor Newman's empire? If Holden has information about a shady business deal, a hidden child, or a cover-up from Victor's ruthless past, then his arrival could be the beginning of a Newman family civil war. Victor is a master at neutralizing threats, but Holden doesn't strike fans as a man who can be easily intimidated. If he truly has information that Victor doesn't want exposed, the battle between these two men could become one of the most compelling rivalries in years. Another possibility is that Holden's information is tied to the Abbotts. Jack Abbott has weathered his fair share of scandals, but could Holden be carrying proof of something that links the Abbott family to a betrayal decades in the making? Perhaps Holden has stumbled upon records connecting John Abbott to a hidden affair, or evidence that Diane Jenkins was involved in something darker than she has admitted. If Holden's information undermines the stability Jack is fighting so hard to preserve, then Genoa City's most iconic family could once again be thrown into chaos. There's also Chancellor Winters to consider. Holden's business acumen and ability to work the room suggest that he might be tied to corporate intrigue. Could his information threaten to destabilize Jill Abbott's empire? If Holden has been tracking investments, secret partnerships, or shady boardroom deals, then he might be gearing up to make a play for power by exposing Chancellor Winters' vulnerabilities. That kind of bombshell could drive a wedge between Devon, Lily, Billy, and Jill, leaving the company fractured and vulnerable to a takeover. But what makes Holden such an exciting wild card is the possibility that his information is deeply personal. Perhaps he isn't just a stranger with documents, maybe he's someone with blood ties to Genoa City. Could Holden be a long-lost relative, a hidden heir, or even the product of a relationship that was swept under the rug years ago? If so, his information may not only threaten power structures but also family identities. Soap history is filled with long-lost siblings and hidden children, and Holden could be the next character to rewrite a family tree. Romance also plays a part in Holden's story, and his connections with Genoa City's leading ladies are already raising eyebrows. If he's confiding his information to someone like Audra Charles, Sally Spectra, or even Sharon Newman, then the question becomes whether Holden is using intimacy as a way to protect his secrets or as a tactic to advance his agenda. Audra, known for her own scheming nature, could be the perfect partner, or rival, for Holden, creating a dangerous dynamic where both are trying to outmaneuver the other while also sharing sparks of chemistry. If Sally becomes entangled, her already fragile love life could face another storm. And if Holden's presence stirs something in Sharon, it could complicate her ties to both Chance and Nick, igniting yet another romantic triangle. The beauty of Holden's arc is that his information doesn't exist in a vacuum. Whatever secret he holds, it will touch multiple storylines, crossing into business rivalries, romantic entanglements, and family legacies. Imagine the chaos if Holden chooses to release his information in a public way, at a gala, a board meeting, or a family gathering. Soap operas thrive on explosive reveals, and Holden could be sitting on one of the most jaw-dropping moments in recent memory. Still, the question remains, what is Holden's endgame? Is he a truth-teller determined to expose lies and force people to face reality, or is he a manipulator using his information as leverage to secure money, power, or influence? Perhaps he is both, someone who sees truth not as a noble weapon but as a bargaining chip in a game of high-stakes survival. His motives will define whether he emerges as an anti-hero fans reluctantly root for, or as a villain whose schemes make him one of Genoa City's most dangerous newcomers. The coming weeks promise to peel back the layers of Holden Novak, but one thing is certain, his intriguing information is not just a subplot. It's a catalyst, one that will spark confrontations, shift alliances, and change lives forever. Genoa City has always been a place where secrets refuse to stay buried, and Holden is about to prove that sometimes the most dangerous secrets come from the most unexpected sources. Whether he dismantles an empire, shatters a family, or breaks hearts in the process, Holden Novak's intriguing information ensures that Genoa City will never be the same again. Victoria Newman's unwanted advice. Fans will also see Victoria cross paths with Kyle. Although the brunette does a good job keeping her distance from Claire's relationships, she will have some unsolicited advice for Kyle. The woman likely tells the young man that he needs to give Claire time and space. Going after Claire and even Holden will just continue to push the blonde away. Victoria Newman's unwanted advice. Victoria Newman has always been a force to be reckoned with in Genoa City. As Victor Newman's daughter, she inherited her father's sharp instincts, iron will, and relentless drive for control. But while those qualities have served her well in the boardroom, they haven't always translated successfully into her personal relationships. Time and time again, Victoria has crossed boundaries, pushed too hard, and inserted herself into situations where her advice wasn't welcome. Now, her latest round of unwanted advice threatens to stir up tension not only with her family but with her friends and lovers as well, leaving fans wondering whether Victoria is once again on a path of alienation and regret. The core of Victoria's personality has always been her desire to fix things. Whether it's her siblings' love lives, her father's business choices, or even her own complicated romances, she thrives on the belief that she knows what's best. And sometimes she does. But her delivery often comes across as condescending, manipulative, or controlling. It's a Newman trait that has alienated Nick, Adam, and Abby countless times before. With whispers of Victoria once again doling out advice no one asked for, fans are bracing themselves for fireworks that could reignite old rivalries and deepen family divides. At the heart of this brewing storm is her complicated relationship with her brother Nick Newman. Nick has been trying to rebuild stability in his life, particularly after the emotional roller coaster with Sally Spectra. But Victoria, never one to sit quietly when she sees a chance to steer a situation, may be poised to share her thoughts about Nick's choices in love and business. While she might feel her advice comes from a place of sisterly concern, Nick is unlikely to see it that way. He has always bristled at Victoria's tendency to act superior, and another round of unsolicited guidance could push him to draw an even sharper line between himself and his sister. Then there's Adam Newman, the sibling Victoria has sparred with the most. Their rivalry has defined much of their adult lives, and Victoria's unwanted advice to Adam could ignite another battle for dominance. If Victoria decides to lecture Adam on how to handle his relationships, his role at Newman Enterprises, or even his connection with Sally, sparks are bound to fly. Adam doesn't tolerate interference, especially not from his sister, whom he views as a gatekeeper to the family legacy. Her attempt to guide him could backfire spectacularly, reigniting their feud and drawing Victor back into the role of referee. Victoria's advice isn't confined to her siblings. Her history shows she often extends her opinions to friends, colleagues, and romantic partners. Her dynamic with Nate Hastings has already been tested by her need for control. While their relationship carried sparks of passion, it also exposed the cracks in her personality, her tendency to dominate, to advise rather than listen, and to steer rather than compromise. If Victoria is once again dishing out advice to Nate about his career or personal choices, she risks pushing him further away. Nate is ambitious in his own right, and Victoria's insistence on guiding him could make him feel diminished, planting seeds of resentment that could ultimately destroy any chance at reconciliation. The business world is another arena where Victoria's unwanted advice is bound to cause tension. As CEO of Newman Enterprises, she often sees herself as the final authority not only on corporate matters but on how others should conduct themselves. Whether it's lecturing Lily Winters about Chancellor Winters, clashing with Devon Hamilton over business ethics, or attempting to sway Jill Abbott on strategy, Victoria has never hesitated to share her opinions, even when they aren't solicited. This kind of interference could trigger backlash from powerful rivals who refuse to be dictated to by a Newman. If Victoria oversteps her boundaries in the corporate world, the consequences could reverberate far beyond her office, leading to fractured partnerships and dangerous alliances against her. What makes Victoria's unwanted advice particularly damaging is that it often comes from a place of hypocrisy. She has made her fair share of mistakes, failed marriages, disastrous business partnerships, and reckless personal decisions, yet she still positions herself as the voice of reason. Her romantic history with Billy Abbott, Ashland Locke, and others serves as a reminder that her judgment isn't always flawless. For her to lecture others about their choices while her own track record is littered with chaos only fuels resentment. This hypocrisy may be the very reason her latest advice will spark outrage, pushing those around her to call out her double standards in explosive confrontations. Another layer to this storyline is how Victor reacts to his daughter's interference. Victor has always been proud of Victoria's strength and ambition, but he has also warned her about letting arrogance blind her. If Victor sees Victoria alienating her siblings or driving wedges into business relationships, he may be forced to step in. That could create dramatic father-daughter tension, with Victoria pushing back against her father's criticism while also desperately seeking his approval. It's a cycle that has played out before, but with each round, the stakes get higher, especially as Victor contemplates his own legacy. Romantic fallout, corporate chaos, and family feuds are just the beginning of what Victoria's unwanted advice could spark. Soap operas thrive on messy relationships, and Victoria inserting herself where she doesn't belong is a perfect recipe for explosive drama. If her advice alienates Nick, it could fracture their already fragile sibling bond. If it enrages Adam, it could ignite a Newman war. If it drives Nate further away, it could shatter her chances at love once again. And if her interference in business backfires, she could find herself vulnerable to rivals eager to exploit her missteps. What makes this storyline compelling for fans is that it highlights the contradictions at the heart of Victoria Newman. She is brilliant yet flawed, strong yet insecure, commanding yet deeply vulnerable. Her need to control others masks her own fear of losing control, and her insistence on giving advice often reveals more about her own struggles than the people she's addressing. As viewers watch her latest round of unwanted advice unfold, they'll see not just the drama it creates but the emotional truth it reveals about Victoria herself. In the end, Victoria's unwanted advice may not only damage her relationships but also force her to face hard truths about herself. Will she recognize the cost of her interference, or will she double down and insist she knows best? Will she mend the rifts she creates, or will she stand alone, alienated from the very people she claims to want to help? The answers will shape not only Victoria's future but the dynamics of the Newman family as a whole. One thing is certain, in Genoa City, Victoria's advice is rarely ignored, even if no one asked for it in the first place. And as history has shown, when Victoria Numa